Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood is not only one of the greatest stories ever told, but also contains some of the most beautiful women in anime. So let's go through which women belong in the top 14, and some of these rankings are gonna surprise you. What might not surprise you is Rebecca Katarina at number 14. Second Lieutenant Rebecca Katarina is close friends with Riza Hawkeye, but also has issues trying to find a guy. How do I know? Because she keeps bringing it up.
I think it's time you set me up with a nice guy from Central. Don't doubt me, Riza! I'm gonna find a nice guy and quit this lousy job! I came all the way to Central to find a good man, but you're all just a bunch of sissies!
She can be quite annoying in general, plus her hairstyle is just so unappealing. I wouldn't classify Rebecca as ugly, but some of these parts don't do her any justice. But hey, you gotta respect how nimble she is, which can't compare to Martel, who comes at number 13. She's part snake as a human chimera. Her main chimera power is the ability to stretch all her limbs beyond what normal humans can do. I'm sure that comes in handy in more ways than one. Martel is physically attractive, of course, but also in personality. She's quite protective and loyal to her friends, an admirable trait. The only reason she ranks so low is that I don't personally find her attractive. Regardless, she's still a great character whose physical appearance is quite the opposite of Gracia Hughes at number 12, who's the widow of May Hughes, a death that many still haven't gotten over. Now, Gracia is not the most beautiful woman in the world. Wait, Maze, you didn't let me finish. But she is adorable, a very traditional housewife in both her attitude and physical appearance, and there's nothing wrong with that. I love her simple hairstyle and kindness. May Hughes was so lucky to come home to that every night, and speaking of lucky, Rose Thomas, my number 11 pick, was lucky that Edward rescued her from the cult of Leto, where she believed in the lies that Father Cornelio could resurrect her fiance. Rose is a sweet girl, but can be quite stubborn about her beliefs. I respect how she changed after Edward pushed her in the right direction.
You've got two good legs, so use them. You're strong enough to make your own path.
Her hairstyle was great, but the difference in colors is confusing. She's like a budget version of Winry, which I guess is a compliment. Rose is a simple, cute, and kind person, which I can't say the same for Lust, who comes at number 10. Lust is one of the homunculus and represents, well, lust, one of the 7 deadly sins. I mean, it's in her name. Now, controversial take here, I don't find Lust to be that attractive when compared to the others on this list. Sure, she has a perfect figure, beautiful eyes, and wonderful long flowing hair, and then there's Havoc's favorite feature.
You've always been a sucker for big boobs.
I can't help it! I love them! It's almost like she's too perfect, lacking the flaws of a real woman. Now, when she's not trying to saw you in half, she can play the role of a sweet girl, and I even like some of her jokes.
You should buy a girl dinner first, before you stick your hand in her chest.
I know others treat this one as their goddess, which makes sense to me, but I find Trisha Elwick at number 9 to be a much greater catch than Lust. Sure, she may not be as attractive, although her children aren't exactly ugly, so they must have gotten some of their looks from her. Trisha is so adorable with those beautiful eyes and wonderful hair. She's just like Gracia, another great example of the perfect housewife. One thing that sets Trisha apart is despite knowing his situation, she still married Hohenheim. She didn't treat him like a monster and promised to grow old with him. Their special bond was a result of Trisha's maturity for such a young woman. A kind soul, a devoted wife, and a loving mother who had been so proud of her boys. Well, this is getting kind of sad. I don't know how to transition to number 8, so let's just move on to the next one. And number 8 is Sheska, which might be a head scratcher for some of you, but hear me out. Sheska is adorable and cute as hell. Her high energy, passion for reading, and appearance are just charming. I love how she becomes more confident as people like Edward praise her unique talent. How many people do you know with perfect photographic memory? Sheska is a bundle of joy, and despite her modest clothing, she has a nice figure, which is like Lanfan at number 7. Lanfan is a loyal servant of Ling, is excellent in hand-to-hand combat, is extremely athletic, and is quite deadly with explosives. She's actually quite shy despite looking confident in that badass outfit. It's one of my favorite things about her. When Lanfan isn't wearing that cool mask, we get to see her beautiful face. She had some epic moments, like when she sacrificed her arm to be Bradley, or returning to the battlefield without fully getting used to the automail arm. Lanfan's adorable face, beautiful body, sweet attitude, and badassery puts her above many others on the list. And speaking of badasses, we gotta talk about Panaka Rockbell in number 6. And no, I'm not talking about her now as a grandma, but rather her in her youth. I'm not one of those. In Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood, episode 27, we get a flashback where Hohenheim talks to Panaka in her youth. Let's just say we can see where Winry gets her looks from, and other stuff. I mean, damn. From what I know of her as a grandma, and from this flashback, Panako seemed like the complete package, which can also be said for her granddaughter, Winry Rockbell, coming to you at number 5. Now, before you get angry, please hear me out. Winry is just amazing, as Ed once said. She's one of those girls too perfect to be true. Winry is a tomboy who works as an automobile engineer. Ed is one of her repeat clients. Let's state the obvious. She's a perfect 10 in the looks department. We don't even realize this until episode 44, and then again in episode 46. She has a pretty face and beautiful hair. The hairstyle itself is incredible, but Winry's greatest asset is her personality and attitude. As Ed said, she is someone who gives life, not takes it. She wants to help others, just like her parents. When things get bad, Winry tries to remain optimistic. I love her reactions when learning Ed ruined her automail, or her passion for the craft itself. Winry is just a bundle of joy with a great attitude, making her the perfect wife for Ed. She's truly something, but only ranks 5th because I believe that Azumi Curtis is better at number 4. How do I even describe someone like Azumi? She's obviously a perfect 10 despite being an old lady.
I'm a little hard of hearing, you see, so I didn't quite catch that. Maybe you'd like to repeat yourself.
Wait, I was just kidding.
How am I supposed to say no to that?
She's a brilliant martial artist and a genius alchemist, terrifying yet harmless at the same time. She acts like a protective mother, caring for her loved ones while showing no mercy to her enemies. I love how she cares for the Elric brothers, acting like their mother. Despite Azumi's rough exterior, she has a vulnerable side to her. She feels sadness for the loss of her child and the mistake of trying to bring that child back to life, a mistake that cost her the ability to ever have children again. She is so cool as a super attractive badass woman. I like how she hates when people call her old or her unique hairstyle. Plus, she and Sigmund, which is actually Sig's full name, make such a beautiful couple, and she is sometimes quite funny. Speaking of funny, we have to talk about Maria Ross coming at number 3. This is definitely the most controversial pick on the list. I doubt most would ever rank her this high, but if you know anything about me, I tend to like women with similar physical traits as Maria. She has a simple, beautiful face, nice short hair, and a great figure to boot. Maria is quite easy on the eyes, if you know what I mean. Beyond her looks, she's also a kind and caring person. I love when she slapped Ed because he went off on his own and nearly got himself killed. It was adorable how much he cared about him. I love her funny expressions when annoyed, usually antics involving Alex. Her return near the end is one of the best moments in the series, and beyond that, she's just beautiful. I can't say it any better than that. I know she didn't have the largest role in the anime, but I don't care. It's my list, and she's staying at number 3. But even her beauty can't compete with Olivier Mira Armstrong, who's my number 2 pick on the list. Olivier is quite fascinating. She hates when people call her feminine, but certainly takes pride in her appearance. She wears lipstick and I assume spends hours stylizing her hair. Olivier doesn't just wake up looking beautiful. Wouldn't that be great if that's how it worked? She's a perfect 10 with probably the most impressive physique among the other female soldiers. Her abs must be stronger than steel. She can kill a bear with ease and is able to physically dominate Alex. So yeah, this woman is someone you do not want to mess with. She can show her good side every now and then, like how she gave her soldier a broken clock, which gave Buccaneer and his crew plenty of time to check out the tunnels, or even the fun part where she faked concern for the Elric brothers. I like her excitement when she came with a plan to take out Sloth. She clearly shares Winry's level of passion for her job, protecting the borders in the north. The harshest, most brutal environment in a Mistress is no easy task. This is why she's quite rough around the exterior, which is a complete turn on. I love strong women, and Olivier is the pinnacle of strong women. When her face isn't covered by her long, majestic hair, you get to appreciate that beautiful face. And she has an amazing smile, even when there's evil intentions behind it. Olivier's badass attitude, combined with her amazing physical appearance, is what separates her from the rest. Very few can match this beautiful woman. But even though there aren't many that can match Olivier, there is one such woman woman, and that's my number 1 most beautiful woman in Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood, Riza Hawkeye. This shouldn't be a surprise to anyone, but that doesn't matter. Riza Hawkeye is the perfect combination of most women on this list. She's fun and exciting to be around, one of the strongest women in the series, a badass soldier, a kind person, has beautiful hair, has a sexy body, and a smile that can save anyone from the pit of despair. Hawkeye had 2 hairstyles in the series, and I of course prefer the long straightened out version, but either one works. She is so drop dead gorgeous that sometimes I lose myself in her eyes, forgetting there's actually something happening on screen. I love her devotion to Roy Mustang and their fun antics. Just like Azumi, Riza can act tough or show vulnerability, and that's why I love this character. For someone who only exists as an animation or a picture in a graphic novel, she feels so real. She's so down to earth, just like Winry, someone who's just too good to be true. But Riza is all those things and so much more. Roy, you are such a lucky bastard to have this beautiful Valkyrie at your side. Can anyone compete with Riza's perfection? Well, to find out, check out my video on the most beautiful women in Code Geass.